Hey there, thanks so much for joining me today. We're going to target this pesky lower back today. And we're going to start this one in child's pose. If you don't like normal child's pose, you can take wide-legged child's pose, whichever you prefer. We're going to get that nice stretch and opening through the low back to start off. So just bringing the legs together, sending the hips back, bringing the upper body forward, forehead touches the mat. And then send the hands back towards the feet. If you want to get more of a shoulder stretch here, you could also take your arms out front. Choice is yours. And as I said, you could always take wide-legged child's pose if that's what you're feeling for this morning. Once we get here, we're going to go ahead and tap into that breath. Bringing all of our awareness into this present moment. Feeling the breath expand through that low back. Just taking a few rounds of breath here to meet yourself here. Noticing any of the sensations that arise. One more round of breath here. Slowly we'll begin by bringing the hands forward. We'll bring the gaze up, and then we're slowly going to come into an all fours position, making sure the hips are over the knees and the shoulders are over the wrist. We're just going to take some cat-cows here, very slow cat-cows. So even if they don't match your breath, that's okay. We're just going to really articulate. So we're going to take the gaze up, really feel into that low back here and that belly. And then we round, bringing our gaze back towards our feet, pushing to get the stretch in the back. Slowly coming back through on all fours and taking that gaze up, allowing the belly to come down and that low back to be stretched, the belly to be stretched, the neck to get a stretch. And slowly again we round, bringing the gaze back, really pushing through the shoulders, arcing through the spine here. And slowly we come back down, arcing again the other way, taking the gaze up. Noticing the different feelings each time we come here. Round through that spine again, gaze goes back. And how we look up, this will be our last one, so enjoy this one. And round. Tuck those toes and go ahead and push up. Walk the hands back towards the feet and ragdoll here. So we want a nice bend in the knees. We're not focusing on the hamstrings. We want to feel it in the low back. So to get into that low back, we want a big bend in the knees. Trying to get the belly to touch the thighs here, and then allowing the arms to drop forward. This is how we're going to get into the back. Get a nice stretch going on. Coming to your breath here, nice steady inhales, And exhales, we're just here in stillness. One more round of breath here. Beautiful. Hands come to the mat. Heel toe the feet to the outer edges. We're coming in for a Yogi Squat. If your heels do not come to the ground, you can roll the mat up to allow them some room. You could also grab a block. You could also have a blanket and roll it up and stack it, whichever is better for you. We're going to come here first and just use the elbows to push those knees further open, growing tall through that spine, really feeling that stretch in that low back and thinking of our lengthening through the spine here. Crown of the head is actively reaching up. When it feels good, we're going to take this left hand to this right ankle. If you can't reach the right ankle, just put the left hand as far towards the right as you can get it. Right hand's going to reach up. You should feel this in your low back, specifically the right side. As we're stretching here, we're actively reaching towards the upper left-hand corner of our room. One more round of breath here. Slowly we'll come back to center, pressing those elbows against the knees again. Beautiful. This time our right hand's going to come to this left ankle or somewhere in front of us. Left hand up and overhead, actively reaching now towards our right upper corner of the space that we are in. Still focusing on that low back, lengthening through the spine. We're not dumping or collapsing here. We'll take one more round of breath. And slowly unravel, elbows push against those knees for another round of breath. Bring the hands out front. Gently, we'll sit back. We're going to come into just a normal seat here. If you want to take cobbler or kneeling, you can, but we're just going to come into a seat and we're going to do some gentle twist. So we're going to twist to the right. This is gentle. We're not overdoing it. If you want to take this right hand to that left thigh, that'll help you deepen that stretch without going too far. We're always thinking of lengthening here. We're not dumping into the back and then twisting. We want a nice straight spine when we're twisting. If this means we can't go as deep into the twist, that's okay. We want to target the low back and we want to do it in a safe way. I'll take one more round of breath here. Slowly we unravel ourselves, twist to the left. it felt good to take that hand over to the opposite thigh, you can try it on this side, noticing how that feels. If it pulls too much in the back, just come out of it. Like I said, we're focusing more on this lengthened twist versus this collapsed deep twist. One more round of breath here. Very nice. Slowly we'll come back around. We're going to bring the feet together, so coming into a cobbler pose. If you want to take your diamond and make it a little wider by bringing those feet out, be my guest. We're going to grab for the ankles or the shins here or the feet, and we're just going to come forward as far feels good. Keeping the spine straight, right? We're not rounding through it. That's not going to help the pain. We're keeping it straight, elongated, and then we're hinging from the hips to fold forward. Keeping your gaze forward will help you with that conscious lengthening here. And then, of course, using the inhales to accept positive energy, clarity, and strength. And then allowing those exhales to release anything that is no longer serving us so that we can make room for space, for growth, transformation, expansion, all of the things. If it feels good, you can also butterfly your legs here. That'll help with the hips. A lot of times, low back pain can come from our hips being either too tight, too strong, too much movement, not enough movement. We're all going to take one more round of breath here. Gently we'll walk back up, bring the knees together, and we're going to come on to our backs, scooting yourself up. If you like to rock and roll, you can do that now, but that is more of a strenuous. So this is supposed to be gentle, so only if you want. We're going to come here and hug the knees in. So we're not focused on lifting the upper body up. We're focused on pulling the knees towards the chest. You may feel your booty lift off. That's what we're kind of going for to get that stretch. But you don't want it to lift off by your core usage. You want it to lift off by you pulling those knees to the chest. Using your breath here, allowing the inhales to pull and the exhales to release. Almost like a little pulsing sensation here. Next inhale, we're going to come into happy baby, so allowing the legs to come up. And then we can pull down on the shins or the ankles or the outer edges of the feet. Whatever you can find, you're wanting to focus on keeping the hips grounded here. So even if your shoulders lift up, we definitely want the hips to be nice and stable on the ground. Once again, kind of focusing a little bit on that hip opening, because a lot of times hips can really contribute to low back pain, low back tension. We want to find a little bit of relief from that. So just come back to that breath. Inhaling all that love and that transformative energy. And exhaling all of those pesky things that no longer serve us, like the low back pain. And take one more full round of breath here. Slowly, we'll hug these knees in and we'll release that left foot to the mat. Knee is bent here. Coming in for a reclined pigeon. So take that right ankle under that left knee. First, we're just going to push on that right leg. And when it feels good, you can lift that left foot up and interlace the hands behind that left thigh, using right elbow to push against that right thigh here. Active right foot. Making sure your hips are on the mat. Both of your hips should be firmly planted on the mat. This is a beautiful stretch for the piriformis, and like I have continued to say, hips can be one of the main cause of low back pain and tension, so we definitely wanted a mix here. You can even come and close your eyes here if you feel nice and comfy. Using that breath. Slowly we'll release. We'll let both feet come to the mat and we'll windshield wiper those legs here, just left or right. Nice and gentle. And then we'll leave that right foot planted, knee up, taking this left ankle under the right knee and just using your left hand to push on that left thigh, feeling that stretch. And when it feels good, you can lift that right leg up, interlace your hands behind that right thigh. Left elbow pushes on left thigh, left foot is flexed. Like the other side, our hips are both firmly on the mat here, rooting down, tapping into that piriformis to release that low back. And maybe closing the eyes down, finding some stillness and peace here. Slowly using that interlace, allowing both feet to come to the mat, taking those windshield wipers again, noticing when you come to one side how it pulls on that low back. Just slowly articulating this. We are in no rush or hurry today. Beautiful. We're going to go ahead and hug the knees into the chest again. We're going to take the arms out to the sides and allow the legs to drop over towards the right. Gaze goes towards your left hand here, maybe closing down the eyes. Nice gentle twist. Slowly, we're going to come up through center. And then we're going to allow the legs to drop over towards the left. Gaze goes towards the right. Making sure we're filling that belly up with air. Slowly, we'll come back to center. Big hug of those knees, allowing the head to lift up this time. Maybe giving your knees a kiss. We're going to come in for our Shavasana. So, a lot of times when my low back's hurting, I like to take my feet to the outer edges of the mat and then allow my knees to drop in. Should feel nice and releasing. Tucking that tailbone, tucking those shoulder blades, and maybe bringing this left hand to the heart, right hand to the belly. I got a verse for us to ponder today while we are in stillness. This is from Romans 8, and it says, "The pain that you've been feeling can't compare to the joy that's coming." Just knowing that the pain is temporary. All things ebb and flow, and nothing is permanent. Meditate on that while we lay here in calmness and stillness. Slowly bringing the awareness back to the body. Hug those knees in, and then we're going to take wrist rolls and ankle rolls to warm ourselves back up here so that we can get off of the mat and continue on with what we need to do. And when you're good with the ankle and the wrist rolls, we'll take one last hug of these knees. And we'll roll over and then push up to a comfortable seat. Hands at heart center. May you receive all the benefits of this practice. May your back be tension free and full of life. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for this nice low back tension release. I hope you enjoyed this, and as always, please comment below. Let me know how this went for you. And is low back pain an issue for any of my followers or not? I know low back pain is an issue for me, especially whenever we do these back bends. Anyways, have a wonderful rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you back on the mat.